IWER.com. Here's what's happening.
Good afternoon. I am Vanessa Thomas with the 12 o'clock news on the street 919 FM and online Facebook and YouTube. In the headlines, consultations continue on government's work from home policy. The TTPS to decide on mask wearing policy in private vehicles. Venezuelans get 1 year work permit extension, and internationally Russia soon unable to pay its debt, says rating agency. And now the news in detail. Government's work from home policy in the public service will be determined following consultations, which are expected to be completed in September. This was revealed by Leader of Government Business in the Senate, Clarence Rambarat. He was responding to Independent Senator Paul Richards on the policy in the upper house yesterday. Rambarat said developing and implementing the policy is a complex undertaking requiring consultations from various stakeholders, and that is being actively pursued. Government spoke of developing a policy last year to guide work arrangements amid the pandemic, where rotations were done in the public and private sector and many people were working from home. The team of consultants comprises of Prime Minister's Office, Personnel Department, and Ministries of Planning, Public Administration, Labor, Energy, and now Digital Transformation. In other news, on Friday, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley announced that families will no longer be required to wear face masks in their private vehicles. However, Opposition Senator Wade Mark said, based on recent reports, the TTPS seems to be having some difficulty in the interpretation and application of this regulation as it relates to family. Wade Mark asked for clarity on this, to which the Health Minister Terence Dayal Singh said it was up to the discrepancy of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Dayal Singh added that the TTPS is the correct body that applies the law and the regulations, so that's where it will be enforced. Dayal Singh also noted that the interpretation of the word family will be left up to the legal department of the TTPS. Venezuelans who registered for the amnesty granted by the government in 2019 will be allowed to live and work in Trinidad and Tobago for 1 more year. In legal notice number 53, published in the Gazette on March 1st, the Ministry of National Security extended the legality of Venezuelans' registration cards until December 31st. The statement said a Venezuelan registrant who is issued a permit is exempt from the requirement for a work permit to engage in employment in TNT as prescribed by Regulation 10 of the regulations. The notice was signed by National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines on February 9th. It will apply to the 13,500 Venezuelans who re-registered in March 2021. Initially, 15,523 Venezuelans were registered, but some have since left TNT or did not re-register. Heritage Petroleum Company on Tuesday indicated that they were investigating the source of crude oil deposits along the shoreline in Cedras, which has been a cause of concern amongst villagers and fishermen. Cedras councillor Shankar Tilak Singh explained that between Thursday and Friday, crab catchers and fishermen noticed some residue of oil on shore between Granville Beach and St. Anne's Bay, stretching for about a mile. Tilak Singh said the men contacted him, and he immediately gave the information to Heritage Petroleum for the company to initiate cleanup operations and pinpoint the source of the oil. Tilak Singh said Heritage dispatched an investigation team, and a sample was taken for oil fingerprinting to pinpoint the source, as there was no reported leaks in the company's fields. Tilak Singh said, however, that there were no indication of cleanup to date. Heritage has indicated that if the oil does not belong to them, then it falls under the responsibility of the Ministry of Energy. International news, Russia will soon be unable to pay its debts, according to a leading credit ratings agency. Fitch Ratings downgraded its view of the country's government debt, warning a default is imminent. The move comes amid increasing international sanctions against Russia following its invasion of Ukraine. A credit rating is intended to help investors understand the level of risk they face in buying a country's debts or bonds. And that was the 12 o'clock news on the street 919 FM and online, Facebook and YouTube, recapping the headlines. Consultations continue on government's work from home policy. The TTPS to decide on mask-wearing policy in private vehicles. Venezuelans get 1-year work permit extension. And internationally, Russia soon unable to pay its debts, says rating agency. Do enjoy your afternoon and continue to be safe. I am Vanessa Thomas.
News from the street. 919fm.com.